tools. Welcome to Cadmatix. In today's video I will teach you about SketchUp basics. When you open SketchUp, you'll see a range of templates to choose from, ranging from a simple template with English and metric units to architectural, urban planning, construction, landscaping, woodworking, interior. For this video, we'll work with a simple template in feet and inches. As you can see, this is the basic interface that you see by default whenever you open SketchUp. Alright. So this is the main menu bar. This is where you access files and tools. Over here we have our toolbar, which gives us access to things we are going to use to draw inside our model. First we have construction tools. And then some tools like push, pull, rotate and move. Next we have navigating bar. It includes tools like orbit, pan, zoom in, zoom extent. On the right side we have sort of an information panel that tell us about our selected objects. Like for example, if I select this model, see how the entity information is displayed. Under this we have materials panel. This is where we use the paint bucket tool to add textures. Next we have components. And then we have style, layers, shadow, scene, and instructor. If you're a beginner, I recommend working with this panel as it will guide you how to use the activated tool. Get information on what your active tool is. This panel is to access information about component and materials you can open and close by clicking on the icons. Note that if there is a little arrow, a lot of these have multiple tools contained inside this toolbar. You can single click on this and click on one of the tools to activate that particular tool. You can use it to get all of the different tools by clicking on them. For example, if I click on the line tool, here I have line tool and freehand tool. I can use the freehand tool to draw irregular hand-drawn lines or shapes. In arc tool there are 4 other sub-tools that we can use. First, let's focus on the axes. In SketchUp we have 3 axes in the 3D workspace, namely red, green and blue, and we have to work along them. On the lower left side we have our status bar. This gives the ability to undo and redo. Notice how the line color changes when it aligns with the green axis. You can see how it gives sort of instructions when I am drawing some lines. Select endpoint or enter a value. To finish drawing a line, just press escape. You can see how it gives sort of instructions when I am drawing some lines. Now let's try entering a value of 5 feet. To check whether the line is 5 feet, use the tape measure tool. As you can see on the lower right corner we have our measurement box that tells that the line is 5 feet. This box gives information about different dimensions and things associated with tools that we have active. Before we go any further, let's talk about navigating. The workspace in SketchUp is a 3D space that we can navigate in 2 ways, either by selecting the tools or by 3-button mouse. First let's talk about orbit tool. You can access it in navigating toolbar and then just click and drag in order to fly or orbit around. Next we have pan tool, which we can use to go left, right, up or down. And then we have zoom tool. To use it, click and drag cursor up or down. Next we have zoom extent. However, the better way is to use the 3 mouse button. For orbit, click and hold center mouse button to orbit, not roll. Hold. For pan, hold the center mouse button and shift key to pan around the workspace. For zoom in and zoom out, roll the center mouse button. Let's talk about drawing. Drawing in SketchUp is fairly simple. You can either activate a tool or type a keyword shortcut. Let's try drawing line again. To draw a line, it is important not to click and drag. Just click and move in the direction you want to draw and type a length for precision. Again, just a single mouse click. Type value and click or press enter. A trick to make sure that you draw along the axes is that when you activate a tool, tap the arrow keys. This will lock your tools to different axes. Let's try drawing a rectangle. Notice how it looks perfectly fine. But when we orbit, it is not coplanar. Coplanar means that the edges are not in the same plane field, so it will not create face. Now this time I am going to press the arrow keys and then draw lines along the axes. Notice the filled space. This is called a face. Another thing is when we move mouse over different edges, we will start getting these symbols or shapes. This is the SketchUp inference engine. It is where SketchUp figures where you want to draw different things. As you can see that this is the endpoint, midpoint and again the endpoint of the edge. The dotted lines are perpendicular lines that you can draw along with. You can create the 3D shape manually or use the push-pull tool to extrude a 2D shape into 3D. Let's draw a 3D shape. This time I am locking the line tool with shift key along the green axis. Notice the thickness of the line when it is locked. Note how the inference is guiding. I can connect it with the midpoint or the endpoint. For now I am going to connect with endpoint. Note how the inference is guiding. I can connect it with the midpoint or the endpoint. Here's how you will draw using the push-pull tool. Push-pull tool can be used to either add or subtract. This is the offset tool. To make this shape hollow, I will select the inner portion and use the push-pull tool like so. Just take it to the end. We can do the same with the arc shape, or in any shape as long as there is a separate portion to select. Now let's try drawing a wall with a window. To add the length and width for the rectangle, first I will type the value 10 feet and then type comma and then 9 inches. If I want the height to be 10 feet, so I will type 10 feet in the dimension box. Thanks for watching. Follow for more. Like, share and subscribe.